Hello everyone, my name is Davion and this is Satisfactory. I'm just making a little video to show off my Satisfactory world to my friends and anybody else who might stumble upon this video. Because this is a very fun game and it has absorbed a very large amount of my time. So I'm going to show you around. There's nothing super fancy here. No mega builds or travesties of conveyor belt tornadoes. It's just my little world. There might be some clipping in some areas. There might be floating platforms and other things. Some areas I still want to clean up, but for now it's working more or less. So this is my home base, where I have my storage and some useful buildings down here. I got my crafting bench, I got my equipment workshop, I have the MEM for research, I have a I have an awesome shop over here. This is just some personal storage when I don't know where else to put stuff. Here are my squishies. There should be one of each color here, but when you just drop them on the ground, they all look the same, which is disappointing. I was starting to set up lights, but right now, like, these ceiling lights only shine directly down, which doesn't really help because it just makes horrible shadows everywhere. So I don't really use them anymore. But yeah, I have some storage here. I have more advanced storage here. And on the roof, I have a awesome sink that I can always use. If I have way too much junk in my inventory and I want to get rid of it, I can just shove it in this box and it'll get shoved into the sinks. Here is my hub. Right now I am working on the hover pack, which is my last part of phase 6, or tier 6 rather. Tier 7. Yeah, so I last of tier 7. I have nuclear power unlocked. I just haven't set that up yet. I'm working towards that. So, yeah, here's my base. Lovely non-binary flag colors for my little main base. I've got a transport hub full of hypertubes. Course processing is a bit of a misnomer. I need to redo that. But let's take a look at my main base here in, I believe it's called the Green Forest. So this is where I started out, and the place has expanded quite a bit since I first started. I've got a train station over here. It is bringing over plastic and rubber and sometimes fuel when I can think of it. For my oil plant, it's also bringing over motors for my motor plant, which is all the way over there. This is my supercomputer facility, which is in a bit of a disarray since I needed to expand it a bit, because refineries are huge. Refineries are very huge, and I wanted to take advantage of one of the secret recipes I found, which was steamed copper sheets. So I'm going to steal some of these copper sheets while I'm here. So I can make supercomputers better. I got all my plastic going up here. And I'll just take you around. I won't show every factory floor in detail, but I've got so much copper coming in here. I've got copper turning into cables. I got copper turning into sheets. I also have my original coal line coming through this building, which it's been doing for a long time. This used to be just copper production, but I turned it into supercomputers because, well, all these computer parts use tons of copper. Whoop! So I'm making some, I think those are AI limiters over here. Yeah, AI limiters over here. This is making computers. It's fully overclocked just to use up all of that stuff. Where's the other ladder? I'm making a bajillion circuit boards, and then it'll all come up here to make the high-speed connectors. And then everything will come into here. Oh, look. This actually finished up all the AI connectors that were in there. High-speed connectors, rather. So I could probably turn this back on. Oh, it has no power. How is my power? You know what? I'm going to leave this off for now, because I need a bunch of computers anyway for other things, including hover packs. I'm just going to go grab those now. There's no roof on this building yet. I'm going to be doing that later. So I'll show you some of these buildings over here. This is kind of where my original primary site was, like right over here by this iron. And oh boy, I'm doing a lot. This blue building right here has one job and one job only, and that is making screws. Because so many things need so many friggin' screws that I have a building dedicated to making nothing but screws. And there is a lot of unused space in here, which is going to be used, most likely, to make even more screws later on. Because I have a lot of like pretty weak iron deposits over here, so I'm just going to make screws, just forever. Just make screws. Like even this building over here is just making even more screws. These screws are going to the computer plant. And then I have a box over here where I was just stockpiling some iron plates, because you always need iron plates for so many things. So may as well just make a ton of them. Over here, this orange building is making concrete and industrial beams, which are coming up here to this plant, which is like this entire white building here. This entire building is just for turning these modular frames into heavy modular frames, which I don't have any of right now. I must use them all up. Oh wait, no, they're filtering out all the way over here. That's right. But yeah, this entire building, its entire job is just to upgrade these modular frames. And I have an entire other building, that dark gray one over there. That one just makes the modular frames. It also makes one of the space elevator parts. Speaking of, here's a space elevator. You use this to complete phases and unlock more tiers, and yeah, it goes up really freaking high. It goes up into space. It's funny because you can pick this up and move it wherever the hell you want. So it is, it's quite amusing to use. Here we go. Here's some extra heavy modular frames. I'll just grab some of these, because I need them for stuff later. I have a couple of water plants over here. They originally helped power a coal power plant, which I had right here in my home base. But I have since moved that out of the way so I could use the coal for other things, like, you know, mostly that factory over there. This big platform, which used to hold the coal plants, is now kind of my manufacturer. Whenever I need something manufactured in bulk, but I don't need it fully automated, I just kind of toss the materials in here. I do need to make more filters over here. Now the water goes in to help make those copper sheets over there. So I do have a truck. The truck is coming from my modular frame plant, which is going to be... actually, we'll do that later. Let's head over here first. So, Truck Station Alpha. That used to be a truck that brought sulfur over, but I didn't need that much sulfur, and I have so much stockpile that I just kind of stopped that truck. Then it worked as bringing my plastics and rubber over, but then I replaced it with a train. So we were already up there when I was checking on the modular frames and stuff, so I didn't really go anywhere. So let's head over through this pipe, this hypertube, to go to a little secondary hub, which is going to show off my power plants. I don't have any additional... I could, like, set up an accelerator to make this travel a little faster. I just need to double check my power. Power is at a premium right now. Once I get my first nuke plant up, I'm going to do that. Here's my first awful ramp bridge. That was to help get the sulfur over. Let's go to Lakeside first. Yeah, I was trying to avoid making like these god-awful platforms, but as we'll see in a bit later, I couldn't avoid that forever. So I just had to make giant ugly ramps to get to certain places, because it's the only really real way to traverse. And, you know, we're kind of being bad guys from Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar here, so we're here to ruin nature. Technically speaking. Alright, so here is my coal power plant. I have, let's see, that's 4. Okay, so that's 8 by 3, that's 24. I have 24 coal power plants up here. And this is a small part of my power generation right now. Oh, hey buddy, what's up? So, this is using up, I think, 2 pure... It's either 2 normal or 2 pure coal deposits. Let's take a look if the game will stop lagging. Well, it's loading in a new area. Yeah, this is a normal coal, so if I had a pure one, I could probably set up another one of these entire things. But I'm probably going to use that coal for production, because the coal power plants only supply 75 megawatts, and I need 75 megawatts for single buildings now, almost. So these are definitely, you know, providing a ton of power, but I need way more, and I'd rather use the coal for more useful things. So that's why I made the oil plant, which is where we'll head next. Yeah, thankfully the game has this nice big lake right next to all that coal, so this is great. Once you unlock coal production, you can just come over here, just get everything done. You know, once you set up the hypertube, it's easy to get over here. Before, you have to run this whole way or drive it, and that's just annoying. Hypertubes are so good. And now we're just going to take the slow way up this slope. Because, like, that's one of the biggest things, like, if you haven't played this game before. One of the biggest hurdles in the early game is travel. Because it's super slow, and driving, you can get vehicles, but they take up so much fuel, and until you get to oil, you have to do biofuel, which you have to manually gather the stuff for that, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. But let's head over to the oil plant next. And this was a journey. I had to look up a better way to get to this because I couldn't figure out where the oil was. I was going into caves, trying to climb up forever, and it's just along the coast. So once I was able to find that, things worked out so much better. Then I set up this hypertube so I could get back and forth without having to think. And you can also see the train line I had set up to bring the plastic and fuel over when I needed the extra fuel, which I'll probably grab some while I'm over there. Because I'm producing more fuel as a byproduct from my plastic than I really need for anything, so it builds up really fast. Like, I use it, but not as fast as I'm producing it. I'm not even producing packaged fuel all that fast. It's just I don't need it that much. Yeah, this beach is a pain in the butt. It's got those spawners everywhere. Those things will wreck you. I already have this hard drive. I think there was one or two over there that I already have. But we are approaching the oil plant, which I am currently using up all of the oil here. Like, every last drop of oil is being used up, and if I want to expand my oil power, I'm either going to have to start overclocking the oil, what are these called? Oil extractors. I'm going to have to overclock the oil extractors because I'm currently using up all of the oil. So these are making plastic, and it's turning the residue from that plastic into fuel, which I'm storing in here, and I'm turning into packaged fuel, most of which is just going into a sink because I have a ton of fuel. I'm just going to grab some more while I'm here. Here is my first oil power plant. And it's got 6 plants on here. Then I have another one over here. Let's see, which one was this? Oh yeah, this is my really big plant, because this was this is pure crude oil, so there's a ton of oil coming from here. So I got 4 refineries setting up, turning that all into fuel, and getting all these nice generators going. And it's not even using up all the fuel technically, but when I overclocked this to use 100% of the fuel, the fuel I was making, it drained it. Liquids kind of work weird in this game. You have to use more, you have to prepare for more than you need. But yeah, these things produce twice as much power as the coal ones do. So I have a lot of them. And over there on that island is another oil deposit, and that is producing even more plastic, I believe. Oh yeah, and I have all of the polymer coming out of that plant just going into a sink because I can't figure out what to use it for. I can use it for rubber, but I don't need to stockpile rubber at the moment. And I'm also, I believe, making rubber over here. Oh wait, no, this is the petroleum coke, which I have no use for yet. And I will eventually. I've also started using Mark V conveyor belts basically everywhere because I have so many all-clad aluminum sheets that I can just do that. How far away is the train right now? That is not the map button. The train is on its way. I would like to show off the train. I can always cut out a good chunk of this in editing. Okay, yeah. I'm going to throw this into the editor and cut out this chunk while we're waiting for the train, so you can see what the train do. And I will see you when the train arrives. And here comes the train. I know how clearly you can see it in the distance on video, but it's a coming in. Here's a nice choo-choo train. You can see that the back container, there's already a back container. That's because that's full of plastic, because I'm not using up all the plastic that I'm currently producing, which is a good problem to have, because that's like all of my plastic producers are primarily producing plastic and then creating byproducts off of that. So overflowing on plastic isn't really a problem. It's not going to cause any byproduct overflow and just stop production everywhere. And here it's got probably mostly rubber. I can't check it while all of this machinery is still going. Yeah, this is just rubber. I'm not even using the rubber for much. Oh god. Let's just ride inside the locomotive. So yeah, the trains are very cool. They run off of power, so electricity, so you don't have to worry about fuel, you just have to worry about powering them up. So, technically you just do still need fuel, but, you don't have to just supply it fuel. You just, plug it into power, and that handles it, and you can just use the fuel to, use fuel generators instead. And train tracks in this game can be a bit frustrating to work with, just because of they can't turn very sharp. So like this whole section wasn't too bad to make, but when it comes to like the train station and trying to set up things so I can have my trains enter the station in the proper orientation no matter what direction they're coming from, well, you'll see once we get there. Yeah, a lot of these buildings need roofs. I unlocked some nice cosmetic stuff. I do also have the train kind of going through this building, which I actually like. Makes me think of the monorail at Disney World. It's a nice thing. The game is actually smart enough to know when to switch those things to get the trains in the right orientation. So big props to the developers for that. And since I know exactly where this train is going next, we're just going to stay on it, and we're going to go check out the motor factory. So this is going to go ahead and unload all that rubber. All of my excess rubber is currently going into a sink because I'm not using the rubber currently. At least not in, quantities I need to constantly be automating. I can definitely set it up for that and even produce some more rubber if I need to. I just don't need to right now. And yeah, like I said, the plastic is kind of stockpiled up because I'm not even using it all. So the first train I actually set up was from here to my motor factory because I was shipping more space elevator parts over here. It's a short trip, but I wanted a short trip so I could, learn how to set up the trains. And here we are. This nice teal building over here. This is where I produce motors. And yeah, this whole building is just for making motors, because you gotta make rotors, and then you gotta make stators, and then you gotta put them together. It's also making space elevator parts, I believe, but slower. I got a lot of copper coming in here. There's some extra limestone if I needed it. And I also have over here... Yeah, I found some sulfur over here, so I started making some sulfuric acid. Actually, no, wait, the sulfur was... Where was it? Maybe it was around that corner. Trust me, it's over there somewhere. Oh, no, it's over here, right. It was over here. This is actually... No, this was the second coal I found. Yeah, this is coal B, which I had a couple of extra generators set up, but the water situation over here is abysmal. So it wasn't enough to really do more than 2 coal plants. But now I'm using the water to make all this delicious sulfuric acid, which is making very slowly. This is eventually going to help me with nuclear power, which I have started to set up, but it's kind of crazy. Right now, this area is just making nothing but concrete, because I always need concrete. Always need concrete. It was also making encased industrial beams, because I needed to stockpile those, but I have a ton of those over here. Like in this little case, there's still a ton in here. So if I want to get that up and running again, I can. I also have that train station over there, which is going to ship uranium from all the way over here to all the way over here. So I can bring it closer to the sulfur And there's some more limestone, which I need for the concrete, so I can start making cells and fuel rods and stuff. But enough of this area, let's go over to a newer production facility. Should I show off motors first? Oh, I'm gonna have to go there anyway, so yeah, we're gonna show off motors first. Which is also becoming a bit of its own little mini hub. And I had to set this up so I could get the truck going. Not have to crash into it. So, excuse me. Over here we have a truck path that's going to the, oh yeah, this whole building, which is making nothing but modular frames. Except for this extension on the side, which was making... What was that making? It was making some kind of, space elevator part. Yeah, there it is. Smart plating. It's making smart plating, which all the smart plating is just going into a sink. If I need smart plating again, which I'm pretty sure I will eventually, then, you know, I can start using that up and probably even fixing up some of the stuff here, making it a bit more efficient. Over here, we have my original supply of quartz stuff. So I got crystals here, and I have silica here, which I was making for signs and windows, because, yeah, you need quartz to make windows, which is annoying. So I had to ship it all the way from over here to over here on a massive, horrible conveyor belt. But it works. And if it works, it works. I have this up here, which is very much in progress as far as structure is concerned, but this is my aluminum processing plant. This is where I take aluminum and, to a certain degree, quartz crystals to make stuff out of that. So I'm making, what am I making? Radio control units over here. I just don't have the computer shipping over here yet, and I don't really want to shove more computers in here just yet, because I have all the radio controllers I need for the moment. But I am taking aluminum bars, which are being shipped over from where the bauxite is, and I have it turning into sheets, which I currently have paused because I have so many sheets. Oh, this is... I should turn this back on. I should turn this back on. There you go. Yeah, this is why I'm just using this for nearly all my conveyor belts now, because it's just so many. And there goes the train. But yeah, I'm gonna make this particular thing look a lot nicer. And I got another train station, which is going all the way over there, and you can kind of see the... Oh, whoops. The horrible platform I needed to make to, one, get over to the quartz, and two, ship it over here. Yeah, now I have a train doing a lot of that work. But that's going to bring us over to my final area that I'm going to be showing off, because I don't have anything by my sulfur yet. This one, I think. Yeah. So, let us take a journey. I finally set up a hypertube system to get over to where my quartz is. And it pretty much follows the old path that I used to take using the zip lines, because I would take zip lines to get up here, and then I would take that bridge up. But just look how much conveyor belt I had to do just to get quartz at a decently, like, early stage of the game, because I wanted windows in my buildings, because I wanted to make buildings, and they're really dark, and the lighting doesn't work as well as it should. Well, it's an early access game. I'm not complaining that much about the lighting. It was just, you know, a little annoying, so I wanted to make windows instead, and that helps light everything up. And yeah, so I made this horrible, gigantic conveyor belt system along with this. Because, like I said, I wanted to avoid making exactly these horrible bridges. But I was left with little choice at a certain point, so it is what it is. Just gotta destroy the landscape in this game. That's part of the game, honestly. Take this gorgeous, beautiful alien world and ruin it with factories and pollution and radioactive waste. Alright, so here is my train station, which takes on aluminum ingots, and it also now unloads... Oh yeah, it takes in crystals too, and now also unloads these things. Words, Davion. Aluminum casing, because I need aluminum casing to make batteries. What do I need batteries for? I'm sure a ton of things. One of the things is a thing that I just set up before starting this video, and that I'm going to be sending over to my sulfur lines. Hop in here. Through all this poison gas nonsense, which was super frustrating when I was first setting up this area, because we're going to where I'm making my aluminum. This nice pink-red forest. Is it just pink? I think of it like pink and red, because there's some darker areas. But yeah. And here's the nice fun process I have to go through just to make frickin' aluminum. I have to take bauxite, which is coming from somewhere. Oh yeah, there's the bauxite. Oh, it is coming from right here. I thought this was iron for some reason. Yeah, so it's taking the bauxite, it's dumping it into a refinery, it's making alumina solution, then mixes with coal to make aluminum scrap, and then aluminum scrap has to mix with silica to make aluminum ingots. And one of these processes does make silica, but it doesn't make even remotely enough to counter all the scrap that's coming out. So I got all of that coming out. I could just divert some of this to make the aluminum casing, come to think of it, but oh well, I have it set up. I also need to fix this whole area. This whole area is an absolute disaster. Look at this. This is horrible. This makes me sad. I can do so much better than this. It's just terrible. Look at this. It just, makes me sad. I want to clean all of this up. But here, I'm making sulfuric acid. It's just that I don't have sulfur getting here, because it is... Is that a slug I saw? No. Yes, there's a slug over there. I'll go grab that later. I have sulfur, but it's all the way over here. And the only other sulfur I think is even like further north or in some other area. Like there's some of the sulfur that's down here. My truck ran out of fuel. But yeah, I don't really have a good way of getting sulfur over, and I didn't feel like making a train. So I got another idea. On this giant platform that's held up by this one concrete pillar. Oh yeah. And this is... Like I'm taking sulfuric acid and stealing some of the alumina solution and blending it together into a nice battery acid smoothie to make batteries. The batteries go up here to the drone platform. Drones use batteries to fly around and cart stuff all over the place. So I just set this up. And once I get the drone port over by the sulfur, I'll be shipping sulfur here so I can make batteries. So this drone will be helping to make its own batteries, and I'm hoping that this is going to be bringing enough sulfur in that it can power, that can make a surplus of batteries, of which, will use its own batteries, and then it'll supply batteries, and then I can ship those batteries to other drone ports, which I'm going to need for nuclear stuff, because making nuclear stuff is so tedious. Well, not tedious, it's complicated. It's complicated as hell. Because to power nuclear plants, you need uranium fuel rods, which needs encased uranium cells, a ton of them, encased industrial beams, and electromagnetic control rods, which is really complicated. Thankfully, I'm already making these parts just in random places. To make the encased uranium cells, I need uranium, which I have a partial thing to, and I'm going to be shipping by train, which I'm going to color bright green so I know that it is a danger train, because radioactivity is a thing in this game. Concrete, and sulfuric acid. So yeah, that's only going to create 25 a minute. And this is expecting... I don't know how much this is expecting. I'm going to have to see how fast I need fuel rods for. How fast do I need fuel rods? Nuclear power plant. Which won't tell me what it needs. And I don't have the materials on me to make one of these, I don't think. Or do I? I could plop one down and see. Let's see. Just out of curiosity. Can I throw one of these down? No, I'm short one supercomputer. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. This game is very pretty and extremely addicting. I need to clean up this place. I need to, like, tear everything down and just make it look nice. I just want to get the sulfur going, at least, to start. And then I'll probably clean up this area and make it look nice. It'll still be a big building in the middle of a beautiful pink forest, but at least it'll be a nice looking building instead of this mess of conveyor belts and pipes and stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and maybe I'll do another video showing off stuff if I make some nice progress or make some nicer looking buildings that aren't just boxes. So yeah, take care everybody, have a great day. And I'll see you guys next video, whenever that is. Goodbye.